All right, so welcome back again. Wyatt here at the Team O'Neill Rally School. What we're going to talk about a little bit is shifting, because we've had a lot of good questions, especially with left foot braking and right foot braking. You know, how and when do you shift? And the answer is, you know, on the normal road, shift like a normal person and you'll probably be fine. It's when you start driving aggressively that especially downshifting is a problem. You know, if you're at high speed and you just downshift and let the clutch out, it can over rev an engine, it can be really hard on your clutch and drive line, it can cause a big weight transfer that you don't want, it can even lock the tires up and cause you to go into a big skid. So a lot of people like the option of heel and toe shifting, and that's a good one. We're also going to look at heel and toe shifting versus just shifting without the clutch. And we'll see each of those give you the ability to raise the engine RPM to meet the road speed and the wheel speed of the vehicle and the input shaft and the gear that you're trying to get into, so you can accomplish nice smooth shifts when you're driving aggressively, to be easy on the vehicle and to keep the vehicle, you know, heading along and under control where you want it to go. And the idea, very quickly, just even sitting still with heel and toe shifting, is to be in a high gear. So say I'm in third gear again. When I decide to put it in second gear, I would clutch in and brake as I am. I would go into neutral, blip the throttle to raise the engine RPM up to where it wants to be. When I put it into second gear, the car stays stable, it doesn't lock the wheels up, it doesn't have a bad weight transfer. So it's matching the engine speed to the wheel speed and the input shaft speed and the transmission speed in the gear that you would like it to be in. So at speed, what it's going to look like is this. I'm in a high gear, we're driving down the road. I'll leave it in third for right now just to show you. We're only doing 55 miles an hour or so. Touch a little brake, get it turned in over this crest. Coming into here, right foot brake, neutral, match the revs, and you feel, well, you don't feel because you're on video, but you see that it didn't really upset the vehicle too bad. It didn't lock the tires up, there was no jerky weight transfer, and the world's a happy place. The problem with heel and toe shifting is your feet, especially your right foot, has to do two jobs. You have to brake and be very careful and deliberate about how much brake pressure you're using for the surface you're on, while at the same time you touch the gas to blip the throttle to raise that engine RPM while you have the clutch in. So I tend to do it with kind of the rolling the ankle technique, because I've got kind of bigger feet and the pedals are typically close enough for it. Some people will pick their whole foot up, brake with their toe, and jam over with their heel, which is why it was called heel and toe shifting. You can certainly do that if that's more comfortable for you. I feel like I'm a lot more precise on the brake pedal by just, you know, keeping my heel on the floor, braking where I want to, and then flipping the throttle with the side of my foot. I usually have enough room to do that. Let's try it in fourth gear here. Coming up over the hill. Here you would be right foot braking, blip the throttle. I'm into second gear, I'm around the corner, we're gone, and it was much smoother again. So that was just going from fourth gear into second gear. A lot of people have the philosophy that you need to go through every single gear. The truth is that you don't. There's no reason, if you're in fourth gear, to go through third gear on the way to second gear with a normal transmission. The way that it works, it's just not necessary. The thing most people don't realize, though, is that once you're moving, you really have no more need for the clutch. I can go from first to second gear, just pull it into neutral when I lift. A window opens where the speeds are matched and it'll go right into second gear. I wasn't pulling hard or being forceful with it. You know, you can do it with your fingertips. Just lift in neutral, pause, and it'll go into third. I'm in third. I can go lift in neutral, pause, and I'm in fourth. To go back down, it's the same process with the blip of the throttle. I'm gonna go to second gear just because that hill killed a lot of my momentum and second gear was more appropriate. That's fine. So driving around without the clutch, you know, anyone who's had a clutch hydraulic failure has gotten used to this. It's not a big deal at all. I'll go back into fourth gear. Here we are in fourth. To go back down into third, though, I need to brake a little, blip the throttle, and I'm in third. So knowing that and having a little practice with it gives you an extra option, you know. So let's do the same hairpin turn I was just doing, heel and toe down shifting, and we'll try it without even using the clutch pedal. So here we are, blasting along. I'll be in fourth gear. And we're doing, what, 50, 55 miles an hour there. I'm gonna touch the brake a little, blip the throttle. I'm in third. I'm gonna touch the brake again, flip the throttle. I'm in second. I'm in and out of that corner just as nicely. Without breaking the transmission, we're still driving along, even in this, which has a very fragile transmission, and didn't upset the balance of the car, didn't lock tires up. You had all the benefits of heel and toe braking without kind of the fancy footwork that's unnecessary. I'll do one more at the top. You know, it's easy enough. With my left foot over the brake, I can just lift and go to third. I wouldn't do this racing. Shifting up is actually slower without the clutch. It's the shifting down that is very important and sometimes very, very convenient. So here I am, I'm in fourth gear, pop up over the hill, left foot brake, flip the throttle. I'm gonna go right to second gear, back on the power, and I'm out of here. So that was really interesting. You know, we found heel and toe shifting is perfectly acceptable. You know, whether you're left foot braking and you need to switch over and do it when you need to shift, that's fine, and there's nothing wrong with it. But it does cause you to have to be really sensitive about the amount of brake you're using and also the amount of throttle you're using. And because you're doing two things with one foot, it can be a little bit tricky. We did find that, you know, just shifting without the clutch, even in this vehicle, which has a notoriously fragile transmission, we just did it a few hundred times probably, no problems, goes right into gear, and it's actually left foot braking and shifting without the clutch is much simpler, and if you get it right, it's actually easier. So just something to know as you're out there driving around. Have fun, be safe, and we'll catch you next time.